Welcome. So as we can still see people dialing in, I am conscious of time and I don't want to obviously overrun this presentation as we do have quite a bit of material to cover. So hi, my name is David Maitland and I'm responsible for the Redis Lab business across EMEA. On the call with me today, I have Cameron Youssef, who is my solutions engineer, who will be supporting me throughout the presentation, and coordinating this is Greg, who works with us as well, managing this web conferences, which we will be managing the questions as they come in. Now, on the subject of questions, given the material that we're going to cover as they come in, we will answer them if it is applicable to what we are talking about at that point in time. If not, we will save them to the end because we do have a section for Q&A towards the end of this presentation. Okay, so if we look at the agenda, next slide, please. So for the agenda, we have what we're going to cover is obviously an introduction to Redis Labs, which I'm going to cover, and then we're going to go into the detail of the product. And this is where Cameron is really going to take the majority of this presentation, where he's going to give you a pretty good technical overview of the product, but in addition to that, show you the product in live, so you get some pretty good demonstrations and get a great feel of what you can get out of Redis Labs. So, and I'm hoping that towards the end of this, you'll have a good view of how Redis Labs can address your use cases within your environments. So to the right-hand side of the screen, we have some links to further reports or further data that you can research on, so feel free. I do believe that we're going to share the slideware as well, so this documentation will be made available to you as well. Okay, so let's start, shall we? Next slide. So about Redis Labs. So who are we? So firstly, Redis Labs is the open source project that started about 7.5 years ago. And today it is the leading in-memory data management platform supporting any high-performance operational or analytical use case, thus covering a broad spectrum of use cases. So very quite excited in terms of the momentum behind this product and in terms of what's coming out of this. So Redis Labs is the home and commercial provider of Redis, offering enterprise class Redis. Okay, so this is when you're about to go into production and you need to look at the operability capabilities and managing this particular product in the environment. Redis Enterprise is the product realistically that will allow you to ease your transition and provide that capability. And we can talk about that throughout this presentation a bit further on, and you'll see some of this in the presentation. So to be clear, we are an in-memory NoSQL database platform allowing you to ingest massive amounts of data, unstructured data to that effect, providing data analytics at the speed of business. Okay, so this is again a requirement of modern day applications, and again, this is the product that people are looking to, or organizations are looking to embrace to address these next generation applications. So Redis Labs is very popular. In fact, as we are talking to a Microsoft audience, clearly at Fabric you'd probably be familiar with. As you know, towards the next year, they're end-of-lifing that particular platform, and they recommend Redis Labs as the chosen platform for that going forward. We are very popular amongst all of the major cloud providers, so Azure, AWS, Google, IBM, etc. Again, we are one of the, in fact, the de facto in-memory platform for those platforms as well. And given our heritage coming from cloud, it has really made us popular among the developers. So again, gaining top database popularity rankings, and we are highly regarded with the analysts as well. And I'll come back to that in just a second. But we have 6,600 plus enterprise customers taking advantage of our multi-model deployment capabilities, that being cloud and on-premise or hybrid to that effect. But also we provide Flash as well. Let's just talk about that for a second, because within in-memory technology, clearly the value it brings to modern day applications, people tend to want to put more and more data in that tier. But the challenge is obviously the cost of DRAM. DRAM is very expensive. So what we're doing with Redis on Flash is we expand the RAM real estate, allowing you to take advantage of SSDs to expand your RAM space to get the microsecond performance that you would require for your enterprise application. So again, we're seeing an increasing usage of those types of applications or those types of use cases as well. Next slide, please. So just coming back to the analyst part, clearly we are ranked quite highly, as you can see on the screen. But one of the reports I'd like to draw your attention to is the Gartner report, because that's quite interesting. And again, I urge you guys to download that and have a look at that, because there's an interesting study they had there. This is in terms of time to market, and Redis Labs was ranked pretty much #1 in most of those categories, because we've seen too many projects in the past that has been cancelled or have not gone live with other NoSQL products for a variety of reasons. But this report talks about time to market with Redis having been demonstrated within a month from adoption. So this is quite powerful. And again, I'd like to, if you have a chance to digest that report, time to market and obviously competitive advantage is key. But what the report with this particular, that's come out of that report, is very key in terms of how Redis Labs is viewed and the value it brings to organizations. Next slide, please. So what are customers doing with Redis? So on the right-hand side, you can see results from a survey we conducted. And this is all about the types of solutions that are using Redis and the various vertical applications that they're being used in. So let's pick on some of those particular applications. High-speed transactions. So when we can offer 1 million plus ops per second, this becomes a natural choice for digital economy applications. It becomes a no-brainer for organizations to start leaning into these types of technologies to provide that capability. Time series is another good one. So again, an IoT environment is typically one that would take advantage of this. And this is a good example, again, where Redis is getting great acceptance in this particular space. Caching we all know about. I think we've seen lots of use cases on that in the past. Another good one to pick on is real-time analytics. Many companies are building recommendation engines, again, to cross-sell and upsell and to enhance customer stickiness and to improve customer stickiness to give that value add and to improve margins in their applications and their business models. And the final one I'd like to pick on is job queuing. Again, we're seeing an increase in that space too, especially with mobile, because we've seen lots of mobile databases being released, but the challenge is the online and offline capability. And what we're seeing now is developers, wanting to hook their remote databases into the queuing, or subscribing to topics or queues within Redis Labs to take advantage of the database that provides as well. So again, we're seeing an increasing use case in that space as well. Next slide, please. So Redis's popularity pretty much spans across multiple verticals again. So we have lots of deployments across lots of customers, across a wide range of industries. So clearly we are a horizontal play. So let's just pick on some of them. Twitter, they built their timeline on Redis Labs, their entire timeline, in fact. American Express, they're running Apple Pay on Redis technology. Nokia, again, this is a great example of real-time ingestion. So this is where they are ingesting their CDR or call data record information for real-time billing purposes. So they've brought that down from days or weeks to real-time to obviously take advantage or to address the modern requirements that we have with mobile technology. Again, Twitch is another good example where it's an Amazon company and they're simultaneously managing 400,000 plus chat rooms real time. So again, great examples, great customers across multiple verticals. Now at that point, I'd like to hand over to Cameron, where he'll go into a bit more detail and continue this presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, David. So David, he mentioned that, okay, we are used as analytical processing and transaction processing and provide information in real time. So it is it's a new type of database that you can use for the things that you used to do in batch processing. But now, using Redis, you can do all those things in real time. Groupon, they use us for fraud detection in real time and also recommending all the products to their customers. It's a Microsoft audience, MSN. They use Redis across all their properties to cache the users and do the session management. So now I will just switch to Redis Enterprise. Why are those companies using Redis Enterprise? So Redis Enterprise, out of the box, it provides you with simple, seamless clustering. It doesn't matter if you have 10 gigabytes of data or if you have terabytes of data. you can just scale the system, add more nodes, and start using. As your business grows, you can grow the infrastructure alongside it. It provides you with auto scaling, resharding, rebalancing in a production environment without any downtime. It's always highly available. If you want to add persistence, you can also add persistence. It provides you with backups. If you want to deploy it across multiple data centers, multi-data center replication is provided. If the data center goes down or any of the nodes goes down, it provides you with instant failover. It's written in C. We will talk about that later. But because of that, it provides you stable and predictable performance. You can write your microservices, and you don't have the long tail effect where just one service is stopping the whole site or delaying the responses to the customers. On the operation side, it's batteries with enterprise class Redis. It's batteries included. So we provide you with everything that you need to run a production system. You don't have to write any scripts or do any management yourself. All you need to do is, okay, just deploy it on premise or get it as a service from Redis Labs and start using it. We utilize the hardware much more efficiently. Redis is single core, but with Redis Enterprise, you can start multiple processes to scale the processing and also the data. Then on the management side, we provide you with a user interface, which I will be showing you. But across that, you want to automate your management, the deployment, the provisioning, the monitoring. We provide you with an API that you can use to manage the system. You can also use command line tools that that we provide you. And on top of that, of course, you need support, and we have a 24/7 support from the biggest collection of Redis experts that you can tap into if you hit any problems. So now, Redis, it's also available. David mentioned that it's all available on Azure. It's also available on Amazon. But what I'm going to show you is what our proposition is, and that's not available. Those things, they are not available on by Microsoft or AWS. They are just providing you with a simple cluster. Whereas with Redis Enterprise, you can scale linearly. So that's the user interface that we provide once you do the install. It's a shared nothing architecture, and all the nodes, they are equal. There is a lot going on behind the scenes to provide you with a fully scalable and available cluster. It's multi-tenant also. So if you want to create a database, all you need to do is go to the user interface, and let's say we want to call that database accounts1, and give how much memory is it going to use, and just activate it. That's all you need to do for provisioning. Everything I'm going to show you here, you can also use the APIs to automate that. I am running this Redis cluster in the cloud on 3 nodes. For each database, we provide you with the matrices. So if you want to monitor, you can monitor all the operations, and you can monitor the latency, and all the different matrices are provided. You can drill down, you can drill by time also, and see the number of ops over a period of time. You can see that how much each node is doing. You can get the ops per second, how much each node is processing, how much memory is it using. You can also drill down at the whole cluster level. Now, I've just created one single database, and I just wanted to show you the command line tools also. So if I go here, and that's the command line tool. If I just do a status command, you will see that, okay, I'm just running one Redis database. It's not sharded. It's just running a single process. And so right now, if the process goes down or if the node dies, then you are going to lose your data. If we want to make it highly available, all we need to do is that we go to the database and then say that, okay, I want to make it highly available. And you just set up replication and update. So you will see that, okay, it's starting a slave and is syncing the data with it. If I go back there, sorry, and now do a status again, you will see that now we have started a new master and a new slave, and it has synchronized with the master, and it's running on a different node. You can also run that in a different zone or in a different region if you want for data center failure protection also. But still, we are limited by the memory that is available on each node. If we want to scale it, all we need to do is, I'll just go here, and you can specify that, okay, you want to cluster the database. Again, all these operations, you can do it in production without any downtime. The clients will keep on working, and you can shard, you can scale out, you can scale in the database very, very easily. So now I'm going to, now I'm going to specify that, okay, I want to run 2 masters, 2 slaves, and I also want to split the data among those 2 masters. So it has started doing this. You can verify the system. So everything that's available to you as a SysOps guys to manage the system efficiently without writing any of your scripts yourself. Normally, it's a very low maintenance system, Redis Labs Enterprise Cluster. We provide you with alerts. So rather than going and checking, you can set up that, okay, you can set up different alerts and integrate it with your own ticket management system. If the memory goes above a certain threshold, if a node fails, if a process dies, you will be alerted. Normally, you don't need to take any action. Everything is managed for you. From the security side, we provide you with the different roles. You can add different roles. Some people, they can just manage the system. Some people, they can create the databases. So you can, security is fully built into the system also. As I mentioned, the data you can use Redis Enterprise as a service also. If you are writing your microservices, it's a multi-tenant system. If you want to add different databases for different other projects or other processes, again, that's very, very easy to do. So all you need to do is do this. Yep, and activate the system, and you are good to go. For disaster recovery or for scaling the system, you can also create replicas. So you can run one cluster in one data center, another Redis enterprise cluster in another data center, and you can set up replication between them. It doesn't matter how many data centers you have. You can add 2, 3, 4, 5 data centers and provide access to the data that is closer to your applications or closer to your users, and also in case if the data centers fail or go down, you can switch to the other data centers. So just to do that, all you need to do is that, okay, you mentioned that, okay, I want a replica of. It will show you the databases in different data centers. I will be using here, because I'm just running one cluster, I'll just specify the internal IP address for that and save. And the data will be compressed. It's saying that, okay, the data will be compressed to use the network more efficiently. Yes, and we update it, and that's it. We are good to go. It's replicating the data, and right now the lag is 0 milliseconds between them because they're running in the same data center. But if you have if the data centers are far apart, then the lag that can be anything from 3-4 milliseconds to 70, 80, 100 milliseconds, and that's because of the network. Okay. So that was a quick overview of enterprise class Redis Enterprise that Redis Lab provides. And do note that the other cloud services that are providing Redis, they do not provide all these features and functionality. It is only on Redis Labs service and on-prem deployment that where you can use these features. Now, David mentioned that Redis, it is the #1 key value store and the top NoSQL database. It's very, very popular with the developers. And so what is the reason for that? So we will, there are 3 reasons for that, and we will dive into those one by one, why it is. One is performance, the other one is ease of development with the Redis, and the third one is extensibility. So here are a few benchmark results that Avalon Consulting Group, they did those, and it was end-to-end for an application that they wrote. Redis was providing the fastest, the highest throughput, and the lowest latency for end-to-end transactions from that application. On the right-hand side, DataStax, Couchbase, Redis Labs, each one of them, on their own website, they published how do you set up the system fully highly available to get 1 million operations per second. These are not our own benchmarks. These are from DataStax, Couchbase, and we did our own benchmark for Redis Enterprise. There, you will see that DataStax that requires 300 instances to achieve 1 million writes per second. With Redis Enterprise, all you need is 2 servers for highly available 1 million writes per second. And there are a few reasons for that. #1, Redis is written in C, so the code is very, very efficient. It has affinity with the CPU. It uses the internal CPU caches very, very efficiently. It is lock-free. It's single-threaded. There are no locks. If you want to scale Redis, you just start more processes. Most of the commands, they are executed in order of 1. That means that as the data grows, there is no impact on the performance. The network protocol that Redis uses, that is very, very efficient, easy to parse, so doesn't take the bandwidth on the network and doesn't use much CPU. To improve the performance, you can also bunch up quite a lot of commands, which is called pipelining, and just send them as one network call. That takes the network latency out of the equation, and you can bunch up 50, 60 commands or 5, 10 commands depending on the situation. So a lot of optimization techniques, they are built in. Now, when you are developing the application, then if you are using relational databases, you are using tables, and then you are in your own language converting them to your own objects. In Redis, is a key value store, but the values, they are data structures. And and out of the box, it provides you with the 9 data structures. The simplest use case is that, okay, you are using Redis for caching. So a string data structure is provided. It's a very simple data structure, just like that you can put a key and a value as a string. Then we have hashes. If you are saving user profiles, then it's a Redis inside a Redis. It's a field name and a field value, and you can use as much memory as you have available to use the hashes. So for user profiles, name, and then the value, and then you can get discrete values, update discrete values, increment discrete values, and if you want to get just a bunch of values using hashes, you can get those. Lists, another very popular data structure. If you are building workflows, you can use lists to to put the works in the list and read it from the top or from the bottom. Lists can also be used if you want to build stacks. Then we have sets and sorted sets. They are similar, that they have unique values, but with the sorted sets, for each value, you can also put a ranking in, which is stored in a sorted way, in order. So using sets, one of the popular use cases is building a recommendation engine. Using sorted sets, you can build leaderboards. We will dive a little bit more deeper into that when I give you on-hand demo. But the point here is that using Redis is providing you with the data structures. In any other with other caching or database technologies, you have an impedance mismatch. Here, all these constructs, they match directly, like hashes. They are like associated arrays or hash maps in Java or different languages. They all have that construct. So you are just using the language constructs to interact with Redis, which makes life much easier, development much faster for you. And you can use them as Lego blocks to build much more complex applications. A couple of exotic data structures. It also provides you with a geospatial index data structure where you can build location-based services. You can put the latitude and longitude and a location and build your data, and then you can do searches that give me within 500 meters all the schools from my location. You can also do distances. Hyperlog logs, that's a statistical data structure which gives you the cardinality about a set. Very popular use case if you want to find out how many users they are visiting your website on a normal in a normal way. You will have to keep track of all the users that have visited your site. Hyperlog logs take only 12 kilobyte, but will give you the number of users just using a very small amount of memory. Okay, so now I am just quickly going to move to the command line just to show you. So we already created a database, so I'll just show you how the commands look. So I'll just copy this and I will connect to the database. Okay, so I've connected to the database. That's the command line tool that comes out of the box with the Redis. All the things I'm going to show you, libraries, they're available for almost every language, and they use the same, that okay, run the command and get the result. So here I am going to show you a sorted set. So here the scenario we are simulating is that people are bidding for different items, and when the time passes, you want to find out who is the highest bidder. So here I'm using sorted set. So item 1, that's the sorted set's name, and user 2 and user 1, they are bidding for it. User 2, he's bidding for with 10,000. User 1, he's bidding with 21,000. You will see there are a few more things available there where you can do the incrementation, you can put expiry and all that, the normal stuff there. So it's very feature rich. All right, so I've added that to the sorted set. A few more come along. a few more bits come along, and now user 3 is bidding 34,000. User 4 is bidding 35,000 for the item. So I've added that. Now, a user, if he increments the bid, normally you will be getting, you will be, if commands like this aren't provided, you will be reading the data and then incrementing the value. Here, we can just increment the bid for user 3 by 5,000 by just calling the command z increment by. Okay, so we have incremented his value, and we see that, okay, now it's 39,000. Now, if I want to get, okay, who is the top bidder? All I need to do is that, okay, scan the range and give me the top item. And that's user 3. If we want to get the top 3, we can also do that. And here we go. So ID3, ID4, ID1. So using data structures, a lot of work has been done for you. It's written efficiently, and all you need to do is just use the data structures, use them as Lego blocks in your applications, and do the development very, very fast. That's one of the reasons when Gartner mentioned that, okay, we are the fastest one of all the nodes, of all the databases that people moved from evaluating it into production the quickest. Okay. Now, sorry, I'll just go. Okay, so we have covered the data structures. Now it's extensibility. That's a new feature. In the new version of Redis, there is a stable API where you can write your own data structures. Redis has the largest community of all the NoSQL databases, and people are doing very, very interesting, writing interesting modules. I talked about the 9 data structures, but people are now writing Bloom filters that you can use, another statistical data structure, machine learning modules, where your data is coming in. You can train the module inside the neural model inside Redis, and also run as the data comes in real time. Graph databases that are available for supporting the Cipher graph language. A crypto engine to encrypt your data in memory using Themis. A text search module that is 5 times faster than Solr or Elasticsearch, and indexes your text, and then you can do complex queries on that data. So here, and right now there are about 40 different modules available that people and it has been only announced about 6 months ago, but a lot of interesting modules coming along has extended the use cases for Redis. So just using it as a cache or a PubSub mechanism, or just as a database, now you can also do processing inside Redis. So that was just the presentation, but I also mentioned that, okay, we spoke, Redis spoke about a lot of it's very, very performant. So I've just created a database just on the fly, and I just wanted to show you that, okay, this is, I'm just going to run a benchmark utility, open source utility, just to show you the performance for Redis. So I'm just running this, and now if we go back and go to the matrices, you will see that I'm performing about 1.2 million operations per second, and it's just running on normal x86 machines on the cloud. And if you want to scale it, the latency, that's very, very low, about 65 milliseconds. And if you want to scale it, it's very, very easy to scale. You just add more nodes. Okay, David, I'm finished with the presentation. So these are the contact details. Are there any questions?
I'm not seeing any questions streaming, but we'll open it up. Greg, have you got anything? Does anybody wants to ask any questions? And we must have answered everybody's questions to the maximum, which is great. Okay, well, I mean, unless there's any other points we need to bring up, I guess we may as well bring this one to a close. So thank you, everybody. Again, contact details are on the screen if you want to follow up and get any more further information. Thanks for your time, and thank you. Thank you.